So this is going to be a very unusual video for this channel. I will not be speaking in a scripted way. This is going to be very spontaneous, unscripted video. I will be talking about my personal experience that I had myself as my own, you could say, therapist or other emotional well-being consultant. So just some context for those who see me first time in your life, and for those who've seen me before but might have forgotten who am I, what I'm about. Karim Maliki, my Muslim name, Vladimir Filyakov, my Russian name. 7 years, actually more than 7 years already, almost 8 years, I guess, I'm learning psychology and everything related to it on my own. Last year, I started this whole nafsa-pathology thing of working with the clients and getting great results. And also, beginning of this year, so January 2025, I started teaching this, and now we already have our first graduates who are starting practicing this craft. So this is the background. So what I'm going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to start with a story. How did I end up becoming my own therapist and what was the outcome? So like every half a year, I am starting new intake of students, new intake of Arabic students. Now it's also going to be new intake of nafsa pathology students, and also possibly new intake for my female Islamic school, which is a separate project. So now I start, as I need to walk and as I need to start creating awareness, please sign up and send out messages, this and this and this. I've noticed that I am procrastinating. So I understand that I am experiencing resistance. So instead of doing the work, I'm finding something else to do. I'm going making myself coffee. I start even doing exercises, strange thing. And I start going to Facebook to answer all the comments or messages instead of doing what I am actually supposed to do per schedule. So what is it? Classic procrastinations, avoidant behavior, trying to avoid this and replace it with something else. So I understand, okay, if I'm experiencing it, it means, well, there is something that I don't want to face. I want to avoid feeling certain feelings. So I decided I wish I could have someone who could help me the way I help other people. But then I thought to myself, well, if you would have a person who comes to you with this problem, Karim, would you be able to help him? Of course, yes. I know exactly what is to be done. So if you can help him knowing what problems he has, why can't you help yourself? I ask myself a question. How can you help yourself? So you're going to be a practitioner and a client at the same time? And the answer is yes. I thought, let's try this, because there is no one else you can go, Karim. It's only you. If you're going to go to your student, you will see him as a student, and you are the teacher. You will be looking for the things student must do better. So you're going to be looking for feedback to give. So you won't going to actually take your student seriously. You will be teaching them, and it's not they will be doing certain practice with you. So okay, Karim Maliki, you have to help yourself, right? Become your own therapist and practitioner. How are you gonna do it? You already know everything in terms of a background. You've been studying it for all these times. You know exactly what is the problem. You need to guide yourself towards the solution. You need to understand what are the feelings in the body, what do you feel, why are you feeling it, and just let this resistance go, process the feelings, integrate it, everything what we do into nafsa pathology, right? So how are you going to do it? I said, well, easy. Just record yourself. You already know what questions you would ask the client. You already have a general idea what you would answer if practitioner would ask you these questions. So I have done 7-minute recording, 7.5 minutes, yes, because I don't need to explain myself everything what I already know in terms of where is your real problem and what you think is the problem, how to resolve it. So literally 7.5 minutes, you could call it, definitely wasn't a motivational speak. It was something between, not exactly guided meditation. Yeah, you could compare it to guided meditation because it was a guide into that uncomfortable feeling. 7.5 minutes I have recorded, and then I just lay down on a bed nicely under blankets, listen to myself, what I have to say to myself. I have to say, experience was a bit strange because as every other neurotyped person, you hearing your voice, I was not immediately following myself what I was saying, because you hearing your voice, you start thinking, oh, is that my voice? Oh no, your voice doesn't sound right, or something like this. If you experience similar things, you're hearing your voice, you're seeing your pictures, you're never happy with your outfit before you leave out, well, congratulations, you are part of the majority of people who suffer one way or another, thinking badly about you. So, but it's a separate discussion. All right, so it took me some time. So I think first 2 minutes I had to remind myself, Karim, stop criticizing, stop judging your voice. No one else is hearing your voice right now, by the way. So it doesn't matter. You just need to lead. You are leading yourself as a practitioner, so you have to follow yourself as a client. So yeah, after about 2 minutes, I actually stopped thinking about how imperfect my voice is, and I was able to follow myself, right? Okay, Karim, so here is the situation that you are scared of. So you're scared of that you're going to start that program, you're going to start that course, new intake, and what you're scared of? Okay, I have seen exactly what I have scared of. I have scared of that situation that you're going to do it and no one is going to respond, or very few people will respond by saying, thank you, Karim, not interested, not now, leave me alone, right? So that first thing came up, and it is that fear of and it's not a fear that you're going to waste your time, you have to understand. It is the fear that you're going to do it, saying that I'm able to do it, and the environment gives you a response. No, you're not. Just no one wants you. Just, Karim, leave us alone. Don't try to pretend someone you are, because you're not that. So in terms of, I hoped, or I was expecting, maybe I'm going to remember some traumatic experience in the past. I don't know, some abandonment by parent, or no, nothing. I didn't remember any specific episode, but what immediately happened, and that what made me think it is worthy of exploring, is that as I was getting towards what is that thing I'm scared of, that no one just gonna respond, immediately I have experiences in my body. So first of all, my breathing pattern has changed immediately, and I was not forcing it, because you remember, I was just in the beginning, I was focusing on how imperfect my voice is. So it's definitely not anything I did for myself. I started breathing heavily, so I'm like, yes, exactly like that. And then I experienced a very intense, you can say, tension in my neck. So, and then that was happening, and this is something what they call most part of my study of psychology was in Russian. This is what in Russian you call abreakция. So in English, I guess, I would assume it's called abreaction. So what it means, that deserves a further exploration. I already have my current students. I'm going to offer it to them, because some of the students want to be practitioners. Some do it for their personal enrichment. Some students are ready to come forward and say, okay, I want to learn. Let me play a role of a client. I'm going to bring up a specific situation which troubles me. There's this specific emotion I'm experiencing: anger, anxiety, loneliness, sadness, whatever, shame, guilt, and let's resolve it. And we did it in the class, and in one sessions in front of everyone, we were able to get a very significant improvement. But then we also have some other students who not intending to become practitioner, but they also don't come forward in the classroom to play the role of a client. So we understand they want to learn, they want to improve, yes, self-growth and everything, but they're not ready to come and say, look, here is what happened. Because you understand, things can be very private, things can be very intimate when it comes to the sphere of, because most of the problems are related to relationship, right? So we're not forcing anyone to come forward and say, tell us about your problem. So I thought maybe it would be interesting for them to explore this in terms of, they already know how nafsapathology works. They already seen our students now playing the role not only of a clients, but also of a practitioners. They know the general procedure. Right? They know exactly how we resolve the problem in nafsapathology. It's not about talking, it's about working with emotions, reintegrating them, experiencing them in the body, letting go of resistance, and all of that. and basically ultimately allowing us to deal with neurosis and resolve it. So that's something I'm going to offer to my students now, because not everyone wants to be a nafsa-pathology practitioner. And also not everyone, and especially with talking to Muslim now, not everyone is ready to take the position of client and talk about all the problems they are experiencing, or even maybe they will be able to talk about experiencing problem, but like I had a client recently, we got to some event in I think some like early or late teenage years, which was a very kind of mild situation. It was a person lost her friend. But then we moved to the much more earlier situation, something around 5 years or something like that, where the client say, no, I remember what it is happening, but I can't say it. No, I cannot. So, and we have to respect that. At this moment, as a practitioner, I was not able to continue. But if that, what I have just tried, is working, that means that opens the whole new avenue. It means that people don't have to become practitioners. People don't have to become clients of practitioners. People have to understand how psychological or emotional problems are created and how we can resolve them ourselves step by step. Yes, of course, it's not as efficient as going to practitioner. You need to do many iterations. You will be doing small steps instead of making like one giant step we're doing during the consultation. That's what we have to understand. Secondly, people who do it, like every kind of emotional work, people have to be ready to do it. People have to take responsibility for their lives, for their decisions. So it's not a magic pill. You'll still have to encounter uncomfortable emotions. You'll still have to sometimes put yourself out of the situation which causes you experiencing this suffering. So all of that, it's still there.